Hello and welcome into the Founders Club. My name is Jeff Gerred. I'm your club president. This is the place to get inspired and to learn something new from the world of entrepreneurship. If you run a company, if you run a brand, if you are thinking about jumping off into your own thing, starting that side hustle, if you have a side hustle and you're thinking, is it time for me to jump ship from my 9 to 5 and make this my main thing? I'm not going to tell you I have all the answers, but we're going to talk to some people that are smarter than me that might be able to talk you into it or maybe talk you out of it. So this is the Founders Club Live. Let's just get it started.
You don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah.
All right, welcome into the club. This is the place, if you are a brand manager or an aspiring brand manager, come on into the club and just be with your people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like a church guy, right? So I go to church on Sundays, and it's just nice to just recharge on Sundays and just get reset. And it's just be with your people. So we want the Founders Club to be a community of supporting each other and learning from one another. And today we have an awesome guest that is joining us. His name is Jimmy Henderson, and he is a real estate mogul. He is like a who's who in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so we're going to bring him on here in just a minute to talk a little bit about his business and his journey in entrepreneurship. But if you are new with us, we meet here every Tuesday at noon, and we are live, so you can jump in the comments and be part of the show. Be part of the show every Tuesday at noon, and after that, we will be published on all the platforms and all the places where you get your podcast. So share, tell a friend. We are just starting off. We're committed to do this thing and get it growing, and we need you to do that. Be part of the club. If you're here now and you're hearing the sound of my voice, okay, on December 12th, 2023, you're early to the club. You think, man, I've never been early to something. I've never been in the first wave of something. This could be your thing. Okay, you can jump in here and be one of the cool kids and one of the first to do it. We're starting off here, and we really appreciate you guys sharing the show and showing the love. It just means everything when you're starting off. Just everything just helps. You know what? Let's jump into our guest this afternoon. He is a guy that I've known for a long time. He is from the real estate world, and his name is Jimmy Henderson. Let's get him on the line here. Yo! The crowd is going wild, bro. They're here for you. Okay, you look like you're a man on the go.
All the time, man. All the time. If I'm sitting still, then things aren't happening.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so here, we're jumping right into it. We are wasting absolutely no time, okay? If I'm out here and I'm watching the Founders Club, and I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking about starting to work for myself, okay? So you have two jobs. This is like SNL. You're two different characters, okay? You're Matt Foley, okay? You're the motivational speaker, the van down by a river guy. Yeah. And you're also Rachel Dratch's Debbie Downer. I want you to talk me into and talk me out of going to work for myself.
I can do that. Let's go first with talking you into it. Are we ready? We just tee it up and run for it. Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, there is nothing greater in this world, not speaking of spiritual things, but right in the regular life, than being your own boss. You get to choose what time you wake up in the morning. You get to choose what time you go to bed. If you want to go on vacation, nobody can tell you you can't do that. At the end of the day, nobody likes the HR department. I'm sorry if you're in HR, but your job is you're the Toby, right, of the office, and It is what it is. And how often do you pick up that paycheck and you say, really, all the work that I've done for this and there's nothing more? You could put in all the effort that you possibly can muster, and at the end of the day, you're not getting any more money. Your paycheck's still what it is. You wait every year for maybe that 4% bump, and at the end of the day, it's just not worth it. In your heart of hearts, you were made for something so much bigger. You've got something more to offer this world, and every time that you go and you punch in, and then you punch out, and you punch in, you're selling yourself short. Don't do that anymore.
Okay, I'm feeling
Wake up.
I'm feeling the hype.
Wake up, America.
Okay. I'm ready to go. I'm putting in my 2-week notice today.
Yeah. On second thought,
okay,
there's no guarantee. One good thing right now, as long as you show up and there's a pulse and you don't make anybody too mad, you're going to get a paycheck at the end of the week. Yeah, the government's going to take their piece, but at least you got something to put in the bank. It's guaranteed. Think way down the line when you're trying to prepare for retirement. You want to know that you've got a little 401k, you got a little nest egg set there. It's a scary thing to wake up in the morning and say, if I don't go out and kill it today, I'm going to starve. My family's going to starve. And it depends on me. That's exactly what you eat what you kill. It's no one's setting a plate down in front of you ready to go. And if you don't kill anything, you don't eat. And let's be honest, it's not just you. Your kids look up to you. Your family looks up to you. Your wife, babe, what are we going to do? What are we going to eat? And without that guaranteed paycheck, man, it's better to just stay right where you are. At least you're guaranteed something at the end of the day.
Yeah. So if you need someone to twist your arm, like I say, and talk you into it every 5 minutes and we all need encouragement. We all need people in our corner. But if you're really on the fence, it may not be a life that you're cut out for.
No, there's no doubt about it. So as far as being an entrepreneur, I believe entrepreneurs are born. You're not going to convince somebody to be an entrepreneur that didn't already have that in them. Sometimes it takes a little bit of prodding or a little bit of leading for them to realize this dissatisfaction that I've had with the status quo since I first entered the job force is the entrepreneurship that is inside of me. Sometimes we don't recognize that. But it all comes down to this. When I say the word risk, what happens in your mind? Do you get scared and say, no, don't take it away, it's mine? And then entrepreneurship is probably not for you. But if you lean in and say, tell me about this risk, what's the reward? What comes at the end of the day if I manage this risk? That's probably something inside of you saying that maybe I'm an entrepreneur just looking for where to jump in.
Yeah, it's in the terms of the kids these days with their comic book movies, it's a canon event that you need in your life that can push you into that. So for me, I can't imagine my life not working for myself now because I've been doing it so long. But there was a time where I had a corporate job and I'd been working at this place for 12 years and I got laid off. And I would have never struck out, I don't want to say never, but I didn't see that catalyst for making the move in my own life until that decision was made for me. It's hey, bro, we're cutting your division. It's done. And you're laid off effective immediately. It did help that they're like, hey, here's a little severance check to hold you over for a few months. That kind of gave me a little bit of cushion. Everyone's coming from a different place, but sometimes it may be people reevaluate these things for a host of reasons. There's a health scare, a death in the family. You get, like I say, maybe you get a little surprise cash influx. Your great uncle that you never knew you had died and left you some money or something that lets you, enables you, whatever that thing is. So it could be negative, it could be positive. But I think it's just one of these things where if you're thinking about doing it, sometimes that decision's made for you and you just go out. But so tell me, so that was my story. How did you just strike out? How did you decide to go?
So I think I always knew that I was supposed to be doing something on my own. But my problem was when I left the corporate world, I was a business banker with Chase Bank. And I see now that was the Lord preparing me because all of my customers were business owners. And so I'd sit across the desk from them, and some of them were owned large companies, several hundred employees or whatnot. And then some of them were like, I've got a couple lawnmowers and a weed eater, and that's what I do. I throw them in the back of my truck and I make some money. And so I would be the guy that would help them with their accounts, open the accounts, if they needed credit cards, lines of credit, that type of thing. And I would sit across and I'd be like, man, you're killing it right now. Like, how did you do that? At the same time, there were some guys that they were coming in every week, like, Jimmy, I got overdraft charges. Can you help me out? Right? Those types of things. But even though I knew in my heart, I wanted to do something, I felt like I was supposed to be doing something else. Man, I had a great salary. I had insurance benefits. I had, 2 weeks vacation a year. I had weekends off, evenings, that kind of stuff. But I had two people within the span of about a week and a half. That's a big piece to me. Sat across the desk and they confirmed to me, they said, Jimmy, I really feel like you're supposed to be doing something on your own. I don't think that you're supposed to be here at the bank anymore. And I went home, I told my wife about it. I said, I think that's confirmation. But Jeff, the thing was, I've always been pretty decent with people. I've been good with people. And I had experience in telecom and I had experience in banking. And that's it. And I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to start a business? Unless I'm going to start a bank, or I'm going to go start a phone company, which I had no desire to do either of those. What am I supposed to do for myself? I can't, like I said, people liked me, I guess, but they weren't going to pay me to take them to lunch, right? That wasn't a thing. So at that point, I had a couple of friends. One of my best friends in the world at the time was the first person that I knew in real life that was a business owner. And he started with, we went through school together and stuff, and he branched out and was doing his own thing. But I said, who does what I can do? I wasn't going to be a roofer, didn't know how to roof, right? Wasn't going to be a painter, wasn't going to be a mechanic, didn't know how to do those things. And I said, you know what? My insurance agent can do that. If I'm being honest, no offense to Adrian, if he's watching, Adrian, I love you. But I said, man, if Adrian can do it, I can do it. So I called him up and I said, hey, man, I really feel like I want to go out on my own. And I'm thinking insurance may be the field for me. And I said, can I take you to lunch and just pick your brain? He's absolutely. Because I wanted to know the hard stuff. I wanted to know, and how much money are you making right now? Is it worth it? If you could do it all over again, would you do it all over again? I'm sorry, I'm going to confess a little bit, but he chose Hooters. And I was like, all right, I wouldn't have been my choice, but I was playing the long game.
Yeah.
So we went, and it was business, right?
Yeah.
And he told me, he said, Jimmy, for a couple of years, my family, my parents helped us. They helped with rent, man. They helped with our bills. Like, we didn't make any money. And he said, it's hard. But I asked him, I was like, are you making like six figures? And he's, yeah, now. And I said, all right, so I'm interested. But he told me, Jeff, he said, Jimmy, if you don't have at least $10,000 in the bank, don't do it. Because my family doesn't have money. Like, we don't have money, didn't have money. And I knew nobody was going to be able to help me with my water bill if my water got cut off, those types of things. But he said, if you don't have $10,000, don't do it. And I said, I got $1,500, man. And that includes what I had in my 401k. Like, we had no money. But I did it. I stepped out by faith. And I'll tell you, you had said sometimes life just pushes you out there. Let me tell you what happened to me. I went out, I bought a book on insurance. That's where I started, in insurance. And I bought a book and studied. I scheduled my exam. I hadn't even finished reading the book. As a matter of fact, it was time for my state exam. I had to tell my wife, I said, you got to drive because I haven't finished reading this book on insurance. So I'm in the passenger seat. I'm reading, and I get there. Lord, by the grace of God, I passed.
Oh, hold on. We got a little hiccup in the connection here. I think he's going to tell us that he
Friday
passes.
To go take the test. Saturday, I put a deposit down on an office. I go to work on Monday, and I got fired. Completely unrelated. I got fired because it was a silly branch policy thing. I didn't do anything necessarily wrong. I loaned a customer a few $100, and you're not allowed to mix your personal funds with your business customers, and they let me go. But they said to me, they said, we're not going to put it down that you've done anything wrong. We're just going to put it down as overall branch performance. So I was able to claim unemployment, which
we're not going to tell anybody. We're going to let you
me.
do it on a podcast 10 years from now.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I applied to be an astronaut and like a principal. Like, as long as you're applying for jobs, then you qualify. But anyhow,
so wait, you actually applied to be an astronaut? That's not a euphemism?
Or no, like it's definitely a euphemism.
I thought you were going down to Houston and you went to NASA and you were like, let me in.
No. The thing is, as long as you apply for jobs, you get unemployment. They don't tell you what kind of jobs you got to apply for. But for 2 years, man, that was God just saying, hey, go do it. Step out by faith and go do it. So I lost my job at the bank. I opened up the agency. This was right when Facebook started. So if you go to like my earliest posts, it was me like, hey guys, anybody need insurance? Anybody? Hello? And I think I did 2 policies my first month, right? Like, it was horrible. But fast forward a few years, man, God was good to us. We started doing really well in insurance after about 2 or 3 years. And that allowed me to get into real estate, which is where my heart has always been. Real estate, like we just talked about, it's 100% commission. There's no guarantees. You don't go down to, Century 21 and put in an application and they start giving you customers. It doesn't work like that. But I look back now and know that God was leading me to it, but it took me stepping out by faith and saying, I'm going to do it, and then being patient, because there are times that, man, that you're going to want to throw in the towel. But, we know that all things work together for good to those who love God and are the called according to his purpose. And I can look back now and say, man, I'm so glad that I listened to that voice inside of me that said, hey, I've built you for bigger things. You've got to take that first step, man.
No, that's good. I like what you were saying about your buddy that you talked to. That, hey, shoot me straight. What's happening here? Because that's the whole purpose of this show. And what I've found working in the creative agencies and working with different clients is successful people they'll tell you what they know. if you just ask them, you assume that people would, what they call it, gatekeep
Yes.
and keep the secrets and not really want to tell you. But you start talking to anyone successful and they'll just tell you, they'll just start giving you the info. You just got to ask for it. So I appreciate you coming on and
No,
doing that
100%. Yeah, and what I have found, and it's funny, I was just reading again in the Go Giver, which is one of my favorite books, and I was reading it, and what it was saying is the people that are truly successful in their own thing, man, those are going to be the ones that want to open up their heart and say, hey, let me tell you everything I can. Let me bring you up here with me. And yeah, I appreciate those people. I appreciate the people that, like you said, shoot you straight. But also those that make it, man, they're usually willing to share those secrets, give you those tips, let you know what things to. There you go, man. There's the Go Giver right there. What hurdles to look for, man. Yeah, so reach out to those people. They're usually going to share their heart with you.
Okay, yeah, for sure. No, I appreciate that. Okay, so that's a little introduction here, but I got a couple questions for you here. Let me pop it up here. I like to ask this to everybody because, like I say, working in the agency world, I've just had so many discussions with different kinds of folks, and I always think it's there's something interesting that can be learned from different people in different industries. So I always ask, what is interesting, or what would I be surprised to know about X, right? So in your world, real estate, what would someone be surprised to know about real estate biz?
For every successful real estate agent out there, right? We're big on social media and the world looks back and say, oh, there's so much money. The average real estate agent in the US does 6 transactions a year. That's it. 6 transactions a year. You think, man, you're killing it out there and whatnot. The average agent does 6 transactions a year. And I'll give you one more. Here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, in the North Texas area, right now there are 60,000 licensed realtors or real estate agents here in the North Texas area. 60,000
Wow.
Real estate agents. Yeah, it's a lot.
Are all those people working, or are they just people that thought it would be fun and they never fell through, or what?
So
I actually know a couple people like that. They thought it might be fun, but they never, did it.
A lot of people did. The real estate market we just came out of, it was fantastic. And everyone said, oh, I can make all this money. Let me jump in. So they went and they got their real estate license. And then they realized it doesn't just happen automatically. You don't just get a license and all of a sudden people come out of the woodwork and say, hey, sell my house for me. It doesn't work that way. So I think you're probably looking at about 30 to 40,000 of those that are practicing. I think a lot of those just got a license and may do one transaction a year, if that.
That's still a crazy number.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. That is definitely surprising. Okay. So being in the house selling business, I'm sure you've got some crazy stories. So give us a wild house buying story or something from the real estate world.
I'll tell you what, I got a situation, I don't want to call it wild. We've had some crazy stuff. We found some super cool stuff, like an attic, some old antique toys and that kind of stuff. I remember there was one house, it was a flip house that we were doing, found like this nasty dead squirrel, like in the toilet. Everything was disgusting. It was, my brother-in-law was in there. We were cleaning the house, and he's running out of the house, like almost hurling. But I got this weird situation right now, and I'll share it. None of these people are friends with me on social media, so they won't see this, but I'll tell you, because I'm also an investor. Guy called me, he found me on Google, and he's got a house. He called me a couple months ago and said, we almost have possession of this house. It was a death situation, and we're working through the heirship issues, and we want to make contact with you. What they wanted to do was find out what the value of the house was. Well, I want to help people, but at the same time, I can't do my services for free. So he called me the other day and said, hey, we have 50% ownership and the other 50% is family, extended family, and we want to buy them out, but we need to know what the house is actually worth. What would it be worth if we fix it up? And I said, what's the end game here? Because I'm trying to figure out, like, are you going to use me for my services, or are you just going to use me and then throw me away? He said, no, eventually we want to sell it. I was like, all right, then I'm your guy. Yeah, like I'll put in that legwork if it means business down the road, for sure.
The business, sure.
So I go there, and here's the story. Guy passed away, and his best friend, I don't want to get into the gory details, but the guy had disappeared for a couple of days. He was older and had health issues, and these are older gentlemen. They're probably close to 70, and they hadn't heard from him in a couple of days, so they call the police, and the police they want to do a well check, and they go in, and poor guy passed away. He died on the couch. And so this guy is trying to contact family, trying to contact anybody and this guy who's passed away, we'll call him John, has a brother and a sister, and that's it. The sister's like 85, and the brother had just passed away. And this other guy, we'll call him Stan, right? The friend. Stan calls the family and can't get a hold of anybody. Calls sister and says, hey, I was John's friend and he's passed away and I don't know who to call. And she says, we don't really talk anymore. You take care of everything. I don't want anything to do with it. She's 85 years old. And so she says, look, I'll sign the paperwork. You can have my half of the house, because without a will, then it's divided between the two brothers, right? That's how it works, or the brother and the sister. So she gets 50% of the house, and this brother who has passed away gets 50%. So she's, you can have my 50%. I don't want to mess with it. He goes through the trouble of dealing with the remains and dealing with the state and taking care of the final arrangements and all that stuff. So now the other brother who's passed away has 3 adult children, and he contacts them, says, listen, you don't know me, but Uncle John has passed away. I am trying to take care of this thing. And they said, give me 30 grand, give me $10,000 for each of us and do whatever you want to do with it. I don't want anything to do with this deal. Just like, I don't know you, but if we got some money coming, great, give us 10 grand. So I was like, okay, I'm trying to help Stan navigate this thing. And he's, well, call them and work out the paperwork. So I call them and say, hey, I made him a cash offer on the house as is, because this thing's still got old stuff from the 1970s in it and all this cool stuff. But it has this old BMW, convertible BMW that's in the park, that's in the garage. It's a 95 BMW, but it's clean as a whistle. And the friend told me, John drove this thing all the time. The battery's dead, but I know this thing runs. And I said, I'll help you put this deal together. Leave me the BMW. And he was like, yeah, no big deal. I got the title for it. Yours. Here you go. I'm going to buy this. I made him a cash offer. I said, I'll buy it. You walk away from it. Get whatever you want out of it. And the rest, I'll deal with it. He said, okay. Then these siblings are like, wait a second. There's an investor here. Like, maybe we want more money than just the 10 grand. And so they're like, maybe we want 15, or maybe we want. And so now that's what's happening.
Oh, right when we were getting into the free BMW or the most expensive, so we're about to find out if this is the most expensive BMW ever, or a free BMW. I don't know which one it is, but it says the guest has muted themselves. All right, Jimmy, if you can hear us, call back in. We'll be waiting. Just while Jimmy is away, while he's resetting his computer, we're waiting for our guest to join back on. I want to welcome everyone into the Founders Club. This is a live show. Okay, so when the internet goes out on your, guess what? They're just gone. So we're live here. We're speaking with Jimmy Henderson. He is in the real estate world here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas. My name is Jeff. I'm your club president of the Founders Club right there. And this is a brand new show. So if you're just joining us, this is a place to learn, hear stories about just some wild things that have happened, and just be part of the community here. So if you're just joining us, we're talking to Jimmy, and he is jumping back on the line here. We lost you right at BMW. We were all excited. Are we getting the BMW? Are we not getting the BMW? What's going to happen?
Yeah, I hope so. So this BMW was a deal that worked out. It's a 95 convertible BMW, and it's as clean as can be. I know this thing runs. It needs a battery. But now we've got siblings that say, wait a second, maybe there's more money here than what I had originally offered. So that's what's going on. We got title companies involved, and we're trying to work out that detail. I'm just praying that the Lord lets me buy this house because I want the BMW. But hopefully around Christmas time, you'll see me on social media showing you my new 1995 BMW. But we'll see what happens, man. But that's the world of real estate. You never know what's going to happen. Good stuff comes, and at the same time, not. Oh, there you go. It's go up top. Scroll. Okay. There's a white. It's white is what it is. There's a white convertible BMW. That's exactly what it looks like, man. That's exactly what it looks like.
So this is in play right now. This hasn't already happened or not happened.
No, this is, as a matter of fact, you know why you lost me just now? Because this guy just called me. And I was like, no, I can't answer it. But when I went to go send him to voicemail, it lost the feed. So right now. So this is something I can have an update for you by tomorrow.
Oh, this is fresh. Wow. We're going to follow along the drama. This is even better than I anticipated. So if you're just joining us, this is the Founders Club Live. I'm your club president, Jeff Gerred. Jimmy Henderson's my guest. And I should say, and I didn't say this up top, but me and Jimmy go way back, like all the way back. We met at church when we were growing up and just grew up together and spent summers as hanging out at each other's houses and just playing video games and just whatever teenage boys do and all that good stuff. Can I tell you, I was just mentioning this the other day because someone was asking me, hey, who's your guest this week? It's fun having your own podcast and starting this because now people will just have something to talk to you about when they see you. Oh, hey, what's going on with the show and so forth. And who's your guest? I'm like, oh, it's a friend of mine growing up. His name's Jimmy Henderson. He does real great with real estate and all that. And I was like, no, I told them, and I don't remember if you even remember this. Okay, do you remember the first time we met? This would have been like 1990, maybe 1990. Okay. I remember.
Refresh my memory.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. You may not love this, but yeah. Okay, let me set the story here. If you don't know me, I'm from Oklahoma originally.
Oklahoma,
okay? But I've lived in Texas a long time. Moved when I was like 11, 12 years old, I think. Moved to Texas, and so from Oklahoma moving to Fort Worth, Texas. Fort Worth, Texas was like the big city. Okay, that was like moving into, it was like big time. And the neighborhood that we lived, both me and Jimmy grew up, it's like inner city, like the hood, if you will. We were keeping it real. And the church we grew up in was keeping it real. They were like, our people were those folks. So I showed up the first Sunday, and it was when you had church on Sunday morning and Sunday night. And then it was the Sunday night thing. It was after church. It would stay around and you would eat something and hang out, do fellowship, they call it, whatever. And okay, so this is your girlfriend, longtime girlfriend. Her name was Alicia. Okay, I'm not going to change the names to protect the innocent. That's what her name was.
Yeah.
And apparently, like, I had started talking to her just like, hey, what's up? Like a new kid in town. She's pretty cute. I'm going to talk to her and everything. And then all of a sudden, didn't even know she had a boyfriend. Her boyfriend, Jimmy Henderson, comes up and was like, yo, bro, like, and like came on, yo, dude, this is my girlfriend. You need to back off, bro. And I'm like completely intimidated. Like, I am not that guy. And if you remember, okay, so Craig Hollers, he's our pastor's son. And he was like a tall kid, always a little taller than everybody else. And he stepped in there and was like, hey, Jimmy, this guy's new. He interceded, broke up it wasn't a fight. If there was going to be a fight, he stepped in and the rest is history. But that was the first time that I ever remember meeting you. I don't know if you remember that or not, but that's the story I'm going with.
I did not remember that. It's so funny you mention that. Yeah, listen, obviously, let's fast forward a couple of years, and then Alicia ends up marrying Alan Little.
Yep.
And they're both in my Sunday school class. Like, I am their Sunday school teacher now.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, they're in my Sunday school class.
Oh, that's amazing.
I
love those guys, by the way.
You know what I do remember, and since we're sharing, let's just put it out there.
Let's go. Here we go.
You and I became fast friends, right? Like, we were like best friends. And I remember playing baseball with you and your brothers and stuff. And Pops and Grounders, you guys,
Hot Box.
You introduced me to that game. Yeah. But here's what I remember more than anything is, here we go.
Okay.
I stayed with you guys for a few days, for, I don't know, a week or whatever, because my mom was going to Las Vegas. And so my mom was going on a little vacation to Las Vegas. And so she got with your mom and your dad and be like, hey, can you guys keep Jimmy? And we were cool because it was, I don't know if it was summer or whatever it was. I would assume it was. But we played video games all night long. As payment to your mom for keeping me, my mom paid your mom with food stamps. And that was when food stamps still came in the book.
In the book,
remember
they were actual. It was actual paper.
It looked like little dollar bills. Yeah,
yes.
And I remember, not that your mom asked for money, right? Like, it wasn't that, but my mom was like, "Hey, I'll help out with groceries or whatever while you keep him." And I remember she paid your mom with food stamps.
Wow.
Going to Vegas. But we got some food stamps.
That's right. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, before there was a Lone Star card, there were actual food stamps. That's why they call it food stamps.
Food stamps.
So, dude. Oh, yeah. We were keeping it real back in those days for sure. And I wonder if that's where both of us get that hunger to like hustle on our own, just having like humble come-ups and
beginnings.
Yeah, for sure. Nah, man, that's good
crazy.
Times. Nah, man, we could go all day with these stories. But you know what we got to do?
Yeah.
We've got to. Oh wait, I got one more question for you here. This is important. Now that we've reset that we go way back, let me get my question board popped up here. Okay, so we've already talked that crazy stuff, but here now we got to talk about something really important. And this is a little bit local, folks. Stick with us, okay? But the question is, are we about to get that next Super Bowl?
Oh, man,
this is the Dallas Cowboys. We're talking Dallas Cowboys here.
I don't believe in jinxes, but here's what I can tell you, man. I think that we've got the most complete team that we've had since our Super Bowl teams.
Yes.
And local, we're always homers, right? Yeah, we could be like 4-6, and we're like, we're going to turn it around, baby.
Yeah. I always pick the Cowboys to win every year because eventually they're going to.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'll look for reasons and be like, oh, this is the reason because whatever reason. But when you have people national, like even haters, right? Like Stephen A, who start to say, okay, but 10-3 just beat the Eagles and are in first place in the NFC East.
Beat them pretty bad and pretty easily too. Didn't hardly break a sweat.
They did.
Didn't give up a touchdown on offense. Come on.
That's it. Our kicker outscored the entire Eagles team.
Yeah. They just got one fluky touchdown, really.
It was goofy. If I was a betting man, I would say the odds are more in our favor this year to do that than at any time in the recent past. I think that this is going to come down to a 49ers Cowboys NFC championship like it did when I was a kid, that's why I hate the 49ers, because they used to be, back when Steve Young was their quarterback, that's when I started hating them. Yes, I'm with you right there.
Yes, 49ers suck.
But who knows, man? I'm pumped. I'm excited. And I love that first of all, I love you brought that up, but I love that my son, Israel, who's out in California right now, he's at West Coast Baptist. He's a huge Cowboys fan, right? So he couldn't get it to come up because we use a streaming services, right? So I'm going to tell you what happened. A couple games ago, Dad, whatever. What's going on, man?
Just so you know, if you're listening to this podcast or watching this after the fact, you really got to join live because the Cowboys 49ers conversation is happening in the chat right now. It's going down.
I just saw Jesse pop up there talking about I'm out because we're talking about the 49ers. Let's not pretend that you didn't grow up right here in the south side of Fort Worth. You should be a Cowboys fan.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Either way, here's what happened. Israel called me from California, and he's like, Dad, because I'm in California and I'm using the streaming service for the family, he's like, they've kicked me out. They're telling me I'm not local and I can't watch the game. Man, set up my ProPod. I set up my tripod, put the game on, and did a Facebook, not a Facebook Live. I did a FaceTime with him, and we sat there and watched the game through FaceTime. We're hardcore Cowboys fans, man. Go Cowboys all the way.
Yes, sir. Yes. Now, I don't know if you know this, but that pretty much that exact configuration that you guys did is how Mark Cuban became a billionaire. He started this
with broadcast.com.
Broadcast.com. He sold that for, I think, him and his buddy, they like Indiana basketball, and one lived in market and one lived out of market, and they were doing what you guys were doing, but like a radio version, like just listening to the game. Like I think one just got like on the phone and just held up to the radio so the other one could listen to the game. And they were like, we should make a thing. And then now he's Mark Cuban.
And now he did a thing.
He did do that thing. Some people talk about doing a thing, and some people do the thing. All right. Okay. That's good. Okay. We got to get into some real estate stuff. All right. So we want to have fun with each of these episodes. So we're going to do a little segment right here that we're going to call MLS Up. Okay. Oh, our little animation's freezing up on us. That's all right. Here we go. Okay. All right. So here we go. This is MLS
Here we go.
With Jimmy Henderson. Here we go. That's right.
Here we go.
Do you find, okay, let me ask you this. This is for people who don't know, this is a Dallas Cowboys thing. Again, we're still in the Cowboys world here. Do you find yourself when you're about to just do something, just saying, here we go? I do.
Yes.
I'm just like,
just like I did just now. Here we go.
I do that now I'm doing that all the time. Open up a new project I'm about to start working on. Here we go.
You know what I'm going to start doing in church? Rather than saying amen, I'm just going to yell that from the sanctuary. When my pastor says something on point, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's right. And everyone will know.
I don't know. Maybe not.
I was having this conversation last night. With Letty because she didn't know about Here We Go. And the kids, Sophia is actually my football buddy. She watches all the games with me. My son, he's not that into it, but Sophia knows. And so she knows Here We Go. And so that had come up last night. And Letty was like, what are y'all talking about? And now we told her, and I was like, you should go into your classroom tomorrow, because my wife's a teacher. And you should go in your classroom tomorrow and you should do it. And then watch all the boys and all the football fans. They'll go crazy. So we'll see if she does it. All right, so here's the game. Are you ready? We're about to test your MLS knowledge. So if you're out there in the real estate world and you're tuning in, let's see how our boy Jimmy does on MLS Up. Okay, so here's the game. Ready? Okay, so we've got a listing.
Okay.
This is from Zillow.
Yep.
Let me ask you this. From someone inside the biz. Zillow, it's awesome, it's terrible, it's in the middle. What is it? Is it good?
It is completely random. And so that's the thing, is if you're using it, you're depending on it for solid numbers, it is completely not dependable. So sometimes it's spot on. Most of the time it's off by 20% or so. And so it's like a blind squirrel, right? It's going to get a nut every now and then. But if you're looking at Zillow for any kind of consistency, no, call your local realtor. Call this dude first. That's So
okay,
it is what it is.
Okay. Having said that, just shoots the holes all in our game here. But you've got to go off of what they said. So here it is. We've got a listing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give you some info.
Okay.
And we're going to see, let me get my scoreboard. I'm going to write this down here. We're going to keep a score. So this is like golf. The lowest score is the best, okay? You're trying to get as close to zero as possible. And you got to guess what these listings are going for, okay? So here you see it on the screen.
All right, let's do it.
So there's your exterior shot. That's your address, okay? So let's go. I'm going to give you a couple interior shots. So there's our kitchen. Okay? Here's two. And the second shot of the kitchen. Here's our bathroom, okay? Little living space here. And let me give you a little more information. All right, so here we've got our bedrooms, bathrooms, our square footage. Hopefully you can see that on the screen there.
It's too small. So what's the
square
footage?
Hold on. Let me see if I can boom.
Boom.
How about that?
All right, 1,600 square foot, 4 bedrooms, 2 bath. Okay, I got it.
Okay. All right, so give us the Jimmy Henderson guess. What is this listed at?
$379.
Okay, so we're going $379. And our total is, here we go, $315.
Oh,
315. So a little bit off. A little bit off there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a new build, and so new builds are a little squirrely because they're all over the place. All right, I'll take it.
Okay. All right. So you're in the ballpark. Okay. Listing number 2.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay. Now this is looking like a little bit different kind of property here. Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the front shot here. Okay. We'll come inside.
Okay.
It's looking nice. Looking good. Got fancy stairs. Okay. Here's our kitchen. Kitchen looks like this. Bathroom looks like that. And then I'll zoom you in here to see those stats. Okay. 4 bed, 5 bath.
4 bedroom, 5 bath. Yep.
Okay.
7610. What's that zip code there?
7610. Oh, let me go to it. 76107. Okay.
Yeah.
So
how much land is with that sucker?
What does all that tell you? What are you thinking?
It depends. How much does it tell you the lot size? Does this have land with it, or is this like on a regular city lot? It's got a pool.
Here we go. Here we go. Hold on. Let me zoom you back in because there actually is some good information here. Yeah, here we go. So built in 47.
Oh, so it's a small lot. Yeah.
No HOA.
I'm gonna go with about $999.
$999. Okay, so about $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for it? Boom, 1.1.
Hey, there we go.
That's not bad. Okay, 1.175. All right, here we go. Okay. All right. Okay, we're getting warmer. Okay, now we're going to go to property number 3. So if you're just joining us, this is the Founders Club Live. We've got Jimmy Henderson. He's real estate know-it-all, and we're testing his knowledge right now with MLS Up, okay? This is listing number 3, and this is what it looks like. We're here in Aledo, Texas. Okay, good looking spot right here. Okay, here's now this tells you a lot. Okay, this tells you something right here, just like the amount of space you get in here.
Yeah,
your interior, you got
looks
some
like about an acre.
Okay, you got some little casino, got some nice ceiling accents here. Here's what our kitchen looks like. Okay, we'll look at the bathroom, and then let me zoom you in here so you can take a look at your bedroom bathroom configuration.
4 Aledo. Okay, 2015, 1.12. Yeah.
Okay.
Man, part of me wants to think that you're going to try to mix it up, but yet I feel like that's going to be coming in around the same price as the other one. I'm going to go with 1.25.
1.25.
I don't know what that shop thing was there in the back. Yeah, I'm going to go with 1.25.
Okay, 1.25. Oh, 800.
8, man, I swapped them.
We got, yeah.
Aledo's no joke, man. I think they're underpriced on that thing at 3,200 square foot, but
you think they undershot it? Okay.
Yeah, right. Maybe I'm just gonna call them up and buy it myself.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Okay, so here we go. We got 4. We got 2 more to go. All right, now we're gonna get to a different kind of property here. We're looking on Allen Avenue over in Fort Worth, and it looks like this on the back side. It looks like this on the front side. All right, and then the interior gets even more exciting because you've got this and this. These are the only 2 interior shots they had on the listing. Okay, I think it already says enough. So you got 2 bed, 2 bath. You certainly can. It's a 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,400 square foot.
14.
Hey, there's no HOA. I don't know if you're surprised to know that or not.
Oh.
Yeah.
That makes all the difference in the world. Man, that one I'm going to hit pretty solid at 110. At 110. 110.
Ladies and gentlemen, this property goes for $117. Pretty dang close.
Yeah. That's what they're asking for. It'll sell for 110. I can tell.
Yeah, it's already. What did they say? They said, I don't know if it was on there. It was on here somewhere. Yeah, they've already come down $2,000 in the last little bit here. They're gonna keep going. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
So
we got one more. We got one more property
pretty close
here.
on that one.
All right, so Jimmy's guessing MLS listings or some Zillow listings, anyways. Okay, now we're going to the other end of the spectrum here. You can see here we're in Southlake, Texas. Okay, Southlake, Texas.
That's my house.
There. I knew it. I looked you up, and here you are. So this will look familiar. You got a nice fancy staircase here. Amazing, beautiful. You got a library, full-on library here with theater room.
Yeah,
okay,
man.
Everybody's loving this. And look at this bathroom. I've always just wanted to have an amazing bathroom and take a bath surrounded by 4 black and white photographs of Jessica Parker. So all of your bathing dreams could come true. All right.
I don't even know what to do with that.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. Don't worry about it. Okay, look, you got the tennis courts, the whole bit here. All right.
Yeah, man. And it's Southlake. That's no joke.
And it's Southlake. Okay, this is how you're in the good neighborhood when you got 7 beds, 12 baths. So when you've almost doubled up the bathrooms.
Yeah, you do. Per 14,000 square foot, built in 09, 1.5. I am going to say that one's probably listed at about 15 mil.
15 M. You're going to get a bargain at only 8 million, just under 8 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, it's inflation. That's what's going on right now, man. Yeah, as much as I would like to tell you that I deal in properties in the multi-millions every day, I'm usually not putting things on the market at $9 million. Forgive me for that one.
There you
but
go.
If you've got a property that you're wanting to list that is $1 million and below, I'm your man. I'm pretty solid on those.
There you go. All right, give it up for Jimmy and hold on. We got there we go. Our tepid studio audience.
There we go.
There we go. All right, right on. All right. So we've done that. Hey, you got a couple of them pretty close, but I guess it is a wild. Zillow could be just the Wild West with some of their listing prices.
Yep. You never know.
All right, cool. All right, having completed that, let's talk a little bit of serious business as we move forward here.
Sure.
Club. All right. The fun thing is we've actually already had a good chance to get into some of this, but tell us, we've talked a little bit about origin stories and all that kind of good stuff, but tell us a little bit about, I guess we talked about how you got into this, but tell us like when you first knew this was going to work out.
Okay. I'll tell you, I still own the insurance agency. And I had gotten my real estate license, was trying to figure out what that was about and how that was going to work. And a lady who worked for me sent me a referral. And she says, hey, these are friends of mine. They're from Puerto Rico, didn't speak English very good, but they had some money and were ready to buy. And of course, I'm going in there like I know what I'm doing, when in fact I didn't. I wasn't lying to anybody, but I was just like, if I don't have the information, I'm going to get it for you really quickly, where you thought that I had it the whole time. But I remember getting this commission check. At the time, I was with this broker. I don't want to mention their name. It was one of the big box brokers. Everybody knows they fight for being, the world's biggest broker. And I was on a pretty hefty commission split. They didn't do anything for me. All they did was like, yes, you can hang your license with our brokerage. And they took, like 40% of my commission. And that was it. That's what a lot of agents are looking at right now. But I got this commission check after I sold this house. I was pretty proud of myself. I did them well. They were very happy. They liked the house. I negotiated pretty strong for them. And I remember sitting in my car and I called my wife and I had a commission check in my hand. Like now I get a wire, right? Like at the end of closing, they're like, hey, we'll just send your wire out. But then I was like, no, I'm going to wait in your office. I'm going to sit on the couch in your office at the title company until you're like, all right, I guess we'll give you a check now. And I wanted them to handwrite my check, but I had my check and it was like $7,000, man. And I was beside myself. I was like,
you're set for life.
I was like, I'm holding a check for $7,000. And I realized that at that point, this is going to be my career. And not because it was great money, but everything just fit and it made sense. And the Lord used that to just open things up and really just change our life going forward from that point.
So I could tell the viewers going back, and we referenced earlier in the show, growing up in an interesting kind of church and knowing each other from this fun, like this church was wild. Some of the stuff that we would promotions and contests. We like there was a church where we have like contests. Whole Hog Sunday. One time there was a coin, like a little wooden coin that they made, and it said "to it" on it. A to it. It was called a to it. And of course, a coin is round, circular in shape. And you would invite your friends. And of course, what would your friends say? I'll come to church
when I get around to it.
When I get around to it. So then you hand them around to it. And then now you have to come to church. Yeah. So those were the kind of, we had all kinds of stuff. DC was coming. We had all the good ones. But I will say this.
The mule. Remember, there was one, the mule is coming. Yeah.
Yeah, we had all kinds of good ones. But I will say this, though. So Jimmy was the guy. So you could win a bike. They would have like a summer promotion. Whoever brought the most visitors to Sunday school would get a bike. And of course, that's like the highest currency when you're a kid. And Jimmy would always win the bikes. He had so many bikes. I don't know how you had a whole garage full, 4 bikes. It was always
I lived on Hemp Hill. They all got stolen. Yeah. Every single one of those bikes.
You had to get the new bike. You needed the new bike. Yeah,
That's it. I had no way to school.
I went to private school, like a Christian, when I say private school, not like you're thinking of like what on TV for the viewers. This was like a church school. There was like 14 kids in the whole school. Yeah. This was like it was basically almost like homeschooling. But I didn't know anyone. I knew the people from that, and then they all went to their churches, and then I knew the people from church. So I don't like my family in Oklahoma, so I didn't have any friends that weren't in my church. Jimmy had he knew everybody, and he got them all to come, and he always got his bikes. And so I always saw that bike go out. Jimmy's just walking out with his bike at the end of the promotion. So
that's it. Loading it on the bus because I rode the bus to church, and the bus would take it home and unload it for me.
Oh yeah, the bus ministry. Going and picking up kids. This was the kind of church they would bus in everybody. And no, they did have a great heart for the inner city folks and really reached out.
No question. Look, those buses I realize now because I'm an adult and I've got my CDL, so I drive sometimes the church bus for my church now. And I'm like, okay, this is like a 45 passenger bus. But I know we had those big Sundays where we had 2 of those buses and we had 108, 110 on each bus. We were packing them like 6 deep to each seat.
Yeah. This was the 90s, Brian. This was like the 1900s. There was no cell phone footage. No one was being canceled. You could it was the Wild West compared to like today. Everybody catches you if you try to pull something like that these days. But
couldn't get away with that stuff now.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So tell us just a little bit about what you guys do. Tell us about your team and how the world of Jimmy Henderson these days.
So I'll tell you, man, I have an announcement to make out of my very inner circle. Nobody knows this. So I'm coming on the Founders Club right now, dropping this public
Founders
knowledge.
Club exclusive. I'm here for it.
That's it. It is. This is the first time this is being announced to the public at all. So I am part of a great brokerage right now. I've been with them for several years and love those guys. They're phenomenal. But I've got a real estate team. So I have a team of agents that work for me or work underneath me. And I'm responsible for their training and mentoring them and helping them with their contracts and those types of things. But I really just felt heavy for a while. The Lord was leading me to take a step out by faith again. And as of the 1st of January, so just 2.5 weeks now, Real Texas Realty is a brokerage. And so I'm opening my very own brokerage. So we will be able to sponsor agents and have them come and actually be part. So right there, Real Texas Realty Group will now be just Real Texas Realty because we'll be a brokerage. And I'll tell you really quickly the reason that I felt like it was time for us to do this. I want to create something that is faith-based, but is customer service led. And I want any agent that comes to be a part of that to be impacted by our vision, our mission, our core values. And at the end of the day, this is what the brokerage exists for. We do real estate as a vehicle. But the reason that I want to do this brokerage is the vision that we have is empowering agents to use real estate as a tool, essentially to maximize their earning potential so that they can support the ministry. And that means whether it's, your local church, a church camp, mission field, whatever that looks like, If that's not your goal, being able to expand the kingdom and be able to give back to the Lord and bless him for his blessings on your life, then we're not going to line up. It can't be just about, I want to make money because I want to be rich. Same thing with entrepreneurship. It can never be just about the money, because that's not a big enough why. So my why personally has always been, I want to do more for the kingdom. I want to expand that into a brokerage and say, realtors, if you're out there and you have a heart and a passion for the things of God and you want to be able to expand the kingdom that way, then our vision is going to line up. It's a full service brokerage. We're doing everything from, we're handling business cards, and man, there's a car next to me that's just going crazy. We're handling everything from your business cards to your signs, to putting the lockbox and the sign in front of the house for you, transaction coordinating. We're doing photos. We're doing the whole 9 yards. You basically get to come and be a part of something where you get to plug in and only focus on loving your customers and growing your business with people who already know and trust you. It's a new thing, but we're very pumped. I'm excited about that. So this is me announcing that. And so, yeah, man, run.
So if I'm a real estate agent,
praise the Lord.
And if I'm a real estate agent and I want all of my hard work to go toward devil worship, don't go to your place.
We're legally, I can't tell you you can't join, but I'm going to make it extremely uncomfortable for you. Absolutely,
that's not the spot. Okay. No, but
that's not the spot.
But if you have a heart for that ministry kind of life and you want to be successful, it's just an easy pairing of the two.
Exactly. I think people like to do life with people that are like-minded. And that's what this is 100%. About, is providing an environment for agents to just say, hey guys, let me share something great the Lord did for me today. Or, hey man, I've got this crazy transaction and this one seller. If you don't mind, man, pray for me, man. This is going to be a difficult uphill battle. And we can share our successes and we can share our struggles together, knowing that we have a cause that is greater than just, I'm trying to be rich this year, right? That's what it's about.
No, that's too cool. Wow, thanks for sharing. That's amazing. Absolutely. And look forward to just, again, keeping track of that and just watching you guys do your thing. It's cool to see. Man, okay, we're about an hour here, man. I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything, where do people find you? Where do they follow you? What do they need to do? And if they're looking for a house, tell the people what they need to do to get in contact.
You got it, man. So realtexasrealty.com, just everything spelled out, realtexasrealty.com. The Facebook page is Real Texas Realty Group. And legally, I had to have group until I became a broker, and then I can get rid of that. But in the meantime, just realtexasrealty.com. I've got a YouTube channel. Also, just search for Real Texas Realty. You'll find me. And I'm on TikTok, both personal and real estate there. And it's Jimmy the Traveling Realtor. That's how you'll find me. If you just search up Jimmy the Traveling Realtor, you'll be able to find me there on TikTok as well. So that's it, man. That's who I am.
Residential, commercial. What's the property type?
No, both. Okay. So real estate in general. So whether you're looking to buy or sell your very first home, or you're looking to expand your portfolio, if you're an investor and you want to add some rental properties or commercial property, I do all of that. The Lord has blessed me to have experience in all of those arenas, and that's what I do.
All right, man. No, that's good stuff, man. I really appreciate you, and thanks for coming on the Founders Club. I got one more question. I almost forgot this, and I've been meaning to ask people this the whole time, and I keep forgetting. Okay, so now you're officially inducted into the club. Okay, you were a club member. It's official. I like it. Okay, I don't have a green jacket for you like Augusta, but maybe we'll get those in the future as a promotional item. But
that would be cool.
Okay, but you're a business owner. Other business owners, who would you like to nominate for consideration into the club?
Man, I've got a list of people, but if I can only give you one, this would be the one person that supported me the most when I got into. As a matter of fact, the very first phone call I made when I quit my job, or when I got fired and said, all right, I'm officially an entrepreneur. First phone call I made was to Saul David. And he's been one of my best friends since I was 12 or 13 years old. He's an entrepreneur in every sense of the word, but he's got a heart and a passion for ministry as well. He's the founder of Tithe Life, which I was able to do recently, where, that was there at Texas at AT&T Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's the founder of that. And then he owns a freight brokering company. So he does a little bit of everything. But Saul David, you need him on your club. And brother, I tell you, offline, I'll get you a couple of other names. That's him, man.
Oh, that's him right there. Oh, okay. Okay. Just if you're joining us right now, we are in the Founders Club. We're on the home stretch here. We're about to wrap this up, but don't go anywhere because we have a giveaway. Jimmy, he's on his phone and I think he's getting some phone calls. Oh, wait, hold on. Here he comes. He's back. He's back. Yeah, the Tide Light. Is this the guy right here?
I'm back. Yeah.
I see Tim Tebow. I recognize that face. That handsome devil.
That's Saul right there. Tim Tebow is me. I think Saul's all the way on the far right-hand side.
Now
if you scroll down there, I'm on there as well.
You're on here? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I'm on there. Yeah, keep going. You'll see me there because I was one of.
Oh, look at this guy.
There he is.
Him.
Yeah, I was one of the keynote speakers there at AT&T Stadium.
Now, when you met Tim Tebow, is he just huge?
Yeah.
He's bigger than when he played ball.
That is so crazy.
When he played ball, he was big, but now he's bigger.
Yes. Everybody told me who knew him. They're like, oh, when you meet him, he's a big dude. And I was like, he's 6'3", he's 215, or at least that's what the stat online says. I'm like, I know bigger people than that. That's not a thing. Until he walked up.
Dude,
and I tell you, he's a massive guy, but yet, man, a heart of gold. He's very soft-spoken. I was more impressed with his heart than I was even with his mass, right? But yeah, I was blessed to share the stage with Tim Tebow there at Tithe Life as we just share our heart on what the Lord has done for us and through us. So Tim Tebow, class act. He's everything that you've ever heard and more. And yes, he's a beast of a man.
See, I hate that because as growing up in Oklahoma, I'm still a huge Sooners fan, and he tore my heart out when he was at Florida, destroyed the Sooners in a national championship game. So I should hate him, but I do have a hard time holding that against him because he's gone on to just be such a mensch. He's great, and he's about that faith life for sure. He talks the talk. He does all of it. All right, man. Dude, thank you so much for sharing. I'm going to hit this guy up, and we're going to get him on the show on the Founders Club. Jimmy, thank you for your time today. You've been awesome, and just thank you for your friendship for all these years.
I appreciate it, Jeff, man. I'm glad that you guys are doing big things. Looking forward to more episodes of the Founders Club.
Thank you, sir. We'll talk soon.
All right, man. All right, bye.
Don't go anywhere just yet. We're on the home stretch here, but we do have a giveaway. Okay, so one of our amazing, I won't call it a sponsor, but she's one of our club members. Okay, and so if you go back to the 3rd episode of the Founders Club, you will get to meet an awesome person named Stacy McGovern, who's doing amazing work for families of first responders. It's called the Blue Family Fund, so I'll just give them a shout out any chance I get. The Blue Family Fund gives money straight to families who have lost first responder, police, military, firefighters, all those great folks, and a multitude of things. They have 100%. If you give any money to Blue Family Fund, 100% of the funds go straight to families. There's no overhead taken out from the organization. That's their promise. It is awesome. They just recently did a charity event for, if you go to episode 2 of the Founders Club, you'll meet a great guy named Trey Taylor, who's a country music artist. And they did a huge concert, and they had some shirts that they were giving out for people who donated. They got a few extras. So if I don't have it on me, I'm going to put it up. I'm going to put it on social. So follow us on all the social platforms, and you will find out what the giveaway looks like. It's a really cool shirt. It says country music and Blue Family Fun, a match made in Texas. And she's going to give out some of those shirts. So all you have to do is subscribe and share this channel. So on YouTube is where we really want to grow. So go to our YouTube and subscribe. And anyone who does any subscriptions today and tomorrow. So we're going to have this for December 12th. If you're catching it late on December 13th, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to be notified when we do go live, because this is a live show. We want you guys to participate. Man, we are so thankful for you guys being here, watching this. If you're listening to me now, you have made it, and really appreciate you. Again, thanks to our friend Jimmy Henderson for coming on the show. We also want to thank our production company, Podvision.io. They make this entire show possible. So huge shout out to them for all the fancy graphics and all the cool stuff in the games. So Podvision.io, thank you so much. And for everyone involved with this episode, thank you guys for being in the Founders Club. We will see you again next Tuesday at noon.